I'm here today to inform you, the nation, about an ongoing problem that we've had for many years, and it's only getting worse. Our national debt is growing by the minute. Our lawmakers haven't tried to make any effort to start eliminating this debt. The United States not only owes individuals money, they owe several other institutions money also, not to mention a few other countries. According to the Finance Department at our townhall.com, they reported the following in May 2014. The United States government owes 29.2% of the individuals and institutions money, 15.4% to Social Security Trust Fund, 13.8% to the U.S. Federal Reserve, 4.7% to the U.S. Civil Service Retirement Fund, and a slim 2.8% to the Military Retirement Fund, and the majority of the U.S. debt will go to China, being 41.8%. In the past, Belgium has been the country that has loaned the United States money when they couldn't seem to make ends meet. Now China has been the #1 country that we owe money to. In USA Today, Tim Maloney explains the theory of quantitative easing, or otherwise known as QE. Quantitative easing is defined as a policy of the Federal Reserve uses for buying bonds and other assets in order to push more money into the economy. The most recent strategy was called QE3. It had the federal government buying around $85 billion worth of bonds each year. The federal bank has made mention of phasing out these types of purchases as the economy improves. According to USA Today, rates fell slightly after the launch of the bond program last year. By 2013, the rates had failed to an all-time low, giving citizens a chance to buy and build homes with long-term interest rates that were unbelievable. With the rates still lower than normal, the Feds will slow down their bond buying as long as they continue to see improvement in the economy. In February 2014, the lawmakers has decided to suspend the debt ceiling once again. This time it's at a level of $512 billion, higher than it was in February 2013. According to our news partners at CNN, the Treasury Department had set a limit on its borrowing to $17.2 trillion. That was after the last suspension that had just expired in February. The suspension has had the lawmakers play of raising the limit for how much money the U.S. can borrow. The Treasury is allowed to borrow the amount in order to pay the bills and avoid default. When the suspension ends, the debt limit will reset itself, plus whatever the old debt is prior to the last suspension. August 2011, our debt ceiling was $14.7 trillion. January 2012, it rose to $16.4 trillion. May 2013, $16.7 trillion. And February 2014, it was $17.2 trillion. The Treasury has announced that it has begun to use special accounting measures to make sure the country doesn't go overboard with their debt. In October 2012, the House Republicans stated their commands for the concessions tied to the debt limit. House Speaker John Boehner introduced a new clean debt ceiling bill to the floor, and it got passed with 28 Republicans backing the bill. After the bill moved on to the Senate, they had to break a filibuster for the vote to pass. According to CNN, the budget experts say that the debt ceiling is a flawed concept because the decision to always make taxes higher is never passed. Therefore, the Treasuries have to borrow more and more money each month. In the year of 2000, George W. Bush was elected as the 43rd President of the United States with a national debt of $5.2 trillion. This was the lowest since Ronald Reagan was in office. Over the next 14 years, the Huffington Post has reported the national debt has more than tripled, topping at $17.2 trillion. Between the years of 2000 and 2014, America's GDP grew in nominal terms by 51%. During the same period, the national debt grew more than 200%. In plain English, this means that over the last decade and a half, the national debt has grown more than 4 times the size of the economy. With no end in sight, the national debt will continue to grow daily. In closing, what this all means is that the United States has no physical problem for as long as the Federal Reserve can maintain low interest rates. On the flip side of that, when the interest rates turn to normal, America's physical reality will become mathematically unsustainable, which will lead to a budget crisis. Nobody can predict when this will happen. It is a matter that will certainly be on the plate of lawmakers in the near future. All All we can do in the future is hope that we have a president that can devise a plan with Congress and all lawmakers to keep the United States out of another national recession. Thank you.